Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sports Card Hustle presented by Black Gold Sports Card. My name is Danny. Alongside me, as always, it's Brian, owner and operator. We are in episode 5 here, and we have a very special guest coming on the show.
Super excited for this one, guys.
Yep, we have Boston Card Hunter, aka Nick Andrews, coming on the show.
I didn't even know his real name before you told me. Yeah. Honestly, I just called him Boston Card. Yeah, Boston Card Hunter. Honestly,
Mr. Card Hunter.
That's how I go by.
Yeah, I mean that's how he's known, and that's what he's been doing. And so we just wrapped up the show. We're gonna play it for you guys now. It was awesome. It was a great time. We appreciate it.
This one's going to be good, guys. I would highly suggest listening to hear really a lot of different topics throughout the last year that he's gone over.
Yeah.
Really high level.
Some great advice for any hobbyists, some great news, some funny stuff, guys. It's a great episode.
And it's his last podcast ever, guys. So don't forget, if you want to hear Boston Card Hunter's last podcast ever, come here.
You came to the right place, and you're going to listen right now after the intro. Cue the music. We are thrilled to welcome to the show an established figure among hobby enthusiasts. Today, we have a guy who is the epitome of a hobby movie and shaker, from a vintage set collector to podcaster to influencer, hobby watchdog, and hobby philanthropist. It's an honor to be joined by Nick Andrews, a.k.a. Boston Card Hunter.
What's up, guys? I'm glad we finally got this working. This is great.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for joining us. You've basically said that you are done with podcasts. You are not a fan of podcasts, and we did have some difficulty setting this podcast up, so I can totally understand your frustration.
Well, I have my own podcast, Sports Card Madness, for a long time with my brother-in-law, and it was hard to keep the attention span up for the 1 hour, but I'm going to do it for you guys. It's going to be fun.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. And this is actually only our 5th episode of our podcast, so you're exiting the scene, and we're trying to break ground on the scene, so it's very exciting for us. But then for you, what does Boston Card Hunter look like from here on out after ending these podcasts? More short form heavy, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I like the 8 to 15 second stuff on Instagram that takes me like 2 minutes to put together and requires 0 editing. I'm a big fan of that. I do have a YouTube channel, Boston Card Hunter, where I'll go on a rant for 5 to 10 minutes. Again, not with much fancy editing. So I'll keep doing that. But I'm good with the long form audio stuff. I may join sports card nonsense every now and then for like 10 minutes, but nothing on my own long.
Yeah, sports cards nonsense is definitely really good. So Mike and Jesse do a great job over there. What do you do for a living then? I know we briefly spoke about this, but I want you to tell everybody what you do for a living, because some people would be like, does he do sports cards for a full-time job?
Definitely not. I haven't worked for a living for a while. I was an entrepreneur in affiliate marketing for a long time, 15 plus years, digital marketing guy, growth hacker, also a consultant, and I have an MBA and all that. And, I had a really successful agency that still runs. I have a buddy running it. But it's, basically just get promotions to go viral for companies. It did so well. I was able to be financially independent at 40. I'm 45 now. And sports cards is something that I've always been into. I was into it in the 80s and I was into it in the 90s. I'm a TTM guy, which means through the mail. I like getting autographs from players, like mailing them cards and building sets out of them. And I got back into it probably 2019, something like that. And during COVID, it was like super fun. And then it started to consume my life a little bit because I got really into it. But mostly I'm a vintage hoops guy, mostly a vintage autograph hoops guy. The big things I have are the 1986 Fleer autograph set, base and sticker. And then I've got
that's huge. That's really big.
Yeah. I mean, that took me like 4 months to put together. It was crazy. But I got half of it for free.
What?
You know, it's a lost art, you know, mailing things to players and asking for the autograph, really. And then 1969 tops. Those are the tall boys, the white ones from like Kareem's rookie year. I've got that set autographed. So I've got some nasty sets that I've put a lot of work into, and that's kind of like that's what I collect. I don't do too much modern, other than a blaster or two or a hobby box or two with my son. Um, but yeah, like I've taken that passion and like used Instagram as a network to kind of get cards I need and sell cards and do deals, but also to voice my opinion, which has been fun.
Yeah. So was it ever your outlook to kind of come into Instagram to be sort of a hobby watchdog per se? Was it ever your direct intention to really to kind of take that and run with it?
Definitely not. I think it started with me just getting upset with something, and then I just sort of like turned the camera around from the cards to me.
Yeah.
And then maybe it escalated a little bit when like, you know, people would ask for help. You know, they got ripped off here, they got ripped off there, and then I started to realize like I could actually help people. I mean, that's the crazy thing. I don't do too much of that anymore because it's a very thankless job. But I've probably recovered like I don't know, $200,000-$300,000 of stuff just from like, you know, they'll get something from a big breaker that, you know, should have been put in the trash and not sold for $5,000 and they'll get the money back. Or I'll get a $100,000 card that was going to be sold by somebody like a Jordan rookie. I'll get that decertified by PSA because I do a video. So that kind of stuff, you know, I like that, but it does start to become consuming. And so I've sort of taken, I do come back every now and then when I get really mad about something, but I've taken kind of a different
eBay.
more on the business side of the hobby and collecting and just thinking about everybody in our space and how they behave.
Yeah, I think that you're kind of like a Robin Hood in a sense, or you have been in the past, but it sounds like you're trying to move away from that. So what type of content would you like to get into? Like what fulfills you the most? Like what does the most fun week of content look like for you now versus when you're doing the podcast all the time?
Well, the most awesome experience I've ever had on social media ever was me and Joe Hollywood. You know, we used to be kind of like, I used to, you know, punk him a lot. And, you know, I called him out for a crimped car that was like not his fault. And we got together and we decided to throw a charity break. And me and Joe bought like, I don't know, 5 figures of wax, nothing crazy. I thought maybe we'd raise like 20 grand. So I had a children's hospital rep there, got everything on the up and up, the paperwork and all of that. We started the break and there were $5,000 in donations before we even opened a pack. And by the end of the night, we raised $100,000 for Boston Children's Hospital, which means a lot to my family for a lot of reasons. And that was sick. Like I would do that every week. Like you know, it's great. Like I have the means to buy this stuff that can populate a break, and then people are very generous. So I'm definitely going to do more charity stuff. I think it's awesome. It was like really fun. I like breaking down the business side of things, like predictions on what's going to happen in sports cars. What's the M&A going to look like? How does PSA operate? What are their revenues? Like that stuff too. And also I like showing off my collection. And like the part of collecting I've always enjoyed the most is the treasure hunt where, you know, I can still find like a trailer of old wax, you know, or something like that. Like I love that kind of content.
Can I cut you off for a second, actually, just before you get off the topic? But okay, so let's go back to the Joe Hollywood. So like you obviously had like went after him pretty hard. I at least saw. I'm not going to say I agreed. I'm not going to say I disagreed on this right now. But what I did see is that more so that video to me, when I rewatched it, you said crimped card. Wasn't it more about how he opened up a pack and just kept going when he clearly knew the pack was open?
Yeah.
That's what I'm confused. Like what happened with your guys? I want to know what happened, you know, like how did you guys make up all of a sudden?
I'll tell you what happened. So we have a mutual friend in the industry who's very well connected. And he connected both of us and sort of begged us to put the differences aside, blah, 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 for the greater good, which ended up in that charity event. Now, the crimped card, sure, that could have, that was fine. He, I did a 2.5 hour show with Joe. I've never broken before. And it's very easy to criticize when you're on the other side. But when you become a breaker, you're like, come on, pay for this card, pay for this pack. It's very interesting. And when that card fell out, that was I think 23 of a 24-hour show. I'm 45 years old. I can't do that anymore. I can't do that kind of stuff. So I can imagine he was probably a zombie at that point. And he came out with a statement and said, like, I think like Joe is a showman, that is just who he is. And it was kind of like the show goes on, doesn't acknowledge it. But, he probably should have been like, hey, this is how the pack was made, or, I'll refund you or investigate it or whatever. But he was cooked, he was tired. That's my assessment. I spent a long time talking to him.
Well, and I want to say, I mean, I think it's great that you guys, raising $100,000 for charity.
That's amazing.
Super awesome. So I think we clap that up.
Congratulations on that. I guess I could see it. We're streaming, obviously. We stream heavy. We've always streamed. I've known Joe as a buyer into my single streams on Whatnot, actually. Crazy, believe it or not, before Joe blew up. Dude, he would come into my streams. Good guy. Met him at the National this last year. Really, really charismatic. Like, I don't think he meant harm in any way. Mistakes happen, right? But there's like different levels of mistakes. You got the backyard breakers doing, like some really weird stuff, and also taking. It's so weird how that company is compared to like another company, because that company can steal like downtowns or kabooms. It's more of a kaboom. I think it was it was a kaboom that they took like 3 years ago, and then next thing leads to another. They're just totally inappropriate people. But I don't know. I get what you're saying about Joe. I think that you're right. I think you're on the right. I don't think he was meaning it out of, but that's interesting to know that.
I watched his response too, and he was, he explained it pretty well about how it kind of came to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Backyard's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. Holy smokes. How are they even in? So they got to be owned by another breaking place or live streaming company, in my opinion. I don't know. Something has to be more.
Oh, there's a lot going on there. They've built a resilient business model. They're, the top dog and Whatnot is in heavy growth mode. They're now worth more than PSA. They're worth probably $11-12 billion in the latest round.
Yep.
And Whatnot has decided to hitch itself to the personality wagon, and there's only been a couple of people who have broken through and breaking. Probably Joe, Grant, a couple others, maybe Mama Breaks, and then that's it. And their success rides Backyard's wave and Joe's wave, so they're going to take care of them. And what I do not like that they did with Backyard is their policy states a permanent ban. They literally took
permanent
ban account, renamed the freaking thing, and then put it back up.
Permanent ban, dude. That is criminal what they did.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's bad. I think that's bad on all levels. I think everybody agrees with. Oh, man, it's hard not to.
Okay,
I'll tell you this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. So to give some context, I'm new into the entire hobby. I'm learning a lot. I started here and I was brought on to do content and marketing. So for someone like me who is not in tune with all this stuff, if one of you could give a quick recap of what these guys are doing.
Boston, you want to do it?
All right. What is the recap on? You want to recap on Backyard, or you want to recap on?
Yeah, what's going on? I mean, if it's like something that we're not supposed to like dive into or anything,
we can dive into it.
Fine.
This is
cool. I'm gonna give you the. I'm gonna do this like I'm gonna give you the hook.
Yeah, give them.
Somebody is going to get killed on Whatnot within 2 years live. Book it.
What'd you say? Can you say that one more time?
Okay. Somebody is going to die. Like, not somebody of a heart attack. Like, somebody's going to get killed on a
like literally murdered.
Like literally get killed. Because in the last year, I have seen somebody drunk driving, selling Pokemon cards, saying, "Oh, I'm hammered. I shouldn't be driving," and like selling cards like while he's driving. Buy these packs. I've seen a husband beat the snot out of his wife, and then they went dark. I've seen drug use, I don't know, 50 times, 100 times. Whatnot is, if they're not careful, they're going to become the Craigslist of this era, where the higher quality sifts ahead. They are growing so fast that they don't really give a crap and they won't filter. But like I say, something really bad is going to happen on stream, and it's actually going to mess up their growth plans.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see it. I love it. That could easily happen.
Is it because of
To
like
this day on Craigslist, you can get murdered buying something on Craigslist. That's Whatnot.
I mean, that is theoretical, because Whatnot literally allows anybody to live stream all it takes is a couple clicks to pass.
I've done the onboarding.
Yeah, what is it? A couple clicks, right?
It's a joke. It's 50 people sitting on a Zoom. She gives you the answers to the quiz, and it takes a half hour.
Bang, on. Anybody can do it. Literally anybody, hence why there's a million different live streamers.
So you don't need like a seller's license. You don't need certification. You don't need a track record.
No.
That's bizarre.
The Fanatics Live's different. They require a track record of 40 hours a week of live streaming, and then you can apply.
Yeah, and even when you do apply, that doesn't mean that you're getting accepted. They're so critical of who they bring onto their app. We're accepted. We're on Fanatics Live, and or we're on eBay Live too. Even harder to get on eBay Live than Fanatics Live.
Yeah.
So, dude, there are no literal requirements to get on Whatnot anymore.
Yeah, Whatnot's the flea market. They are the flea market right now.
100%.
So then are they or would they be held accountable if like someone were to do something just astronomically crazy?
I feel like somewhere within their contract that you sign up for when you sign up as a user, in their contract, in the small little print in their user agreement section, I would believe that would be something that would not make them liable, but it would tarnish. I mean, if somebody literally died on a live stream, are you going there? No. I mean,
that would be crazy.
Would you?
I mean, honestly,
Maybe
what
if
would
you're
happen
evil.
there? It's more about the investor impact. How it affects their future rounds of investment.
Yeah, are you going to want to put
Obviously
millions
their
of
image.
dollars into a company that's literally going to be hosting people for death? Like literally.
I mean, I hope it doesn't happen.
I hope
but I
not
think it
either,
will.
but I could see it like I've been on the app for a long time, back when it was like interview only stage. So this was before like the anybody can sell time era. Dude, I could see it. I've seen a lot of crazy things, just like you
that
have.
guy drunk driving could have crashed into somebody, right? Like, it's just a matter of time.
That's messed up. So let's go back. Your personal collection's massive. How did you get to meet Michael Rubin and hang out? You're in the good boy club or what?
I think, I was very critical of Fanatics last year and a lot of things they were doing. And he actually reached out to me. And, I went down to New York. I met with them for a while and just talked about things. And I got a real sense of what mattered to them. And it really changed my perception quite a bit. And then from there, obviously I met the rest of the executive team and understood their priorities. And I was a consultant for a long time. I've worked with, CEOs and management at all sorts of Fortune 500 companies. And it started to turn into a relationship where I was almost giving advice on what to do, which is awesome because we all want to make the hobby better. And I started working on the Museum of Greatness at Fanatics Fest because I've got an audience and I was able to source really cool stuff for that museum. And then it sort of evolved since then into being more of a formal consultant, helping with some things I can't talk about. But, my expertise is growth and digital marketing. And
I think that's super cool that you went from, like, obviously you're very passionate about making sure it's an ethical hobby for everyone. And I think it's cool that you got the opportunity from calling out some of their criticisms to them actually wanting, it sounds like, to change for the better, work with you, cool. And make an impact on something that you truly care about.
Are any plans to create a sports card breaking company?
Me? No, I've been offered many times too. We used to be very friendly with Whatnot. You know, they asked me and LZ if we wanted to do it. I obviously have an audience. I could certainly start breaking tomorrow if I wanted to. It's, you know, it's funny. Like I would do it, but it would be like vintage cards. Like I just the whole logistics of, you know, the modern market, and just, I don't know, the thought about shipping it all makes me want to puke. And then like I was with Joe, and it is such a well-oiled machine. Like he had a guy to the right. He was like the hero of the stream. You know, all this stuff is happening in the chat and you're opening things, and it's so hard to keep track of what's happening. And he's just like Ziploc bag it, boom, you know, tag it to the person. And it just keeps going through everything. That sounds like a nightmare to me. So unless I had like a ninja that could really help me, I don't think I would do it. It's just hard.
Yeah. What about those vintage cards? Like what's the magic in the vintage cards compared to all these new products coming out that made you fall in love with all that and focus on that? Because you have the full, the 1986 Fleer.
You know, I loved 86 Fleer, and I was 6 when it came out. You know, and that's I like that, and Garbage Pail Kids, and that mattered to me a lot. And then just honestly putting my investor hat on, you know, I've done well in life. Just look around at the one of ones, the 10,000 one of ones that aren't really one of ones, and you know, you look at something with true natural scarcity, not forced scarcity, like a Bill Russell rookie that's signed, right? Like I don't know, I got one of those. Yeah, one of those right here. This is a signed Bill Russell rookie.
Dang, wow.
So like that's an actual rare card. They're not going to make anymore. They only made a certain amount in 1957. He only signed a certain amount throughout his life. He's not here anymore.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool card.
Always have value.
So are you more sports in general? Do you like the NBA more than other sports, or is that just for cards?
Yeah, I'm more of a hoops guy. I just like the NBA. It's like my thing. And I think as an extension of that, I like vintage basketball and vintage hoops, but I like baseball too. But I grew up in like,
I always see you with that Boston Red Sox hat on.
Yeah.
I always see that's your go-to look.
Yeah, I love the Sox. I loved them a lot, like in my 20s, you know, when I was younger and had time to go to a baseball game for 4 hours. Those were the days. You know, I was really a huge fan back then. I mean, I still am. Obviously, I watch the games, but the cards, I don't really collect too many. Like I do some vintage baseball, but I don't know. I might get into modern stuff. The problem is somebody I like, you know, like Mookie Betts. Now I gotta like he's in a Dodgers uniform. It just makes me sad. So like you know, I gotta deal with that in the modern market. Now, if I go vintage, I can just get Ted Williams and be done.
Boom. I get what you're saying. That's pretty tough, actually. Shoot. All right. Well, so let me ask you, you've seen Black Gold Sports Cards on Instagram. I'm not necessarily the guy. I'm the owner, by the way. My name's Brian. I haven't even introduced myself. So nice to meet you. I'm sorry. Danny introduced himself. I didn't even introduce myself.
I didn't know you were the owner. We're going to have to talk. I might have a cool project for you.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. I'm always up for some ideas. But yeah, I am the owner, 60% owner at least. Jason is the person that you have seen on Instagram outside of Danny. He is the other owner of 40% of Black Gold Sports Cards. So he lives in Florida. Great guy. Wish that he lived here, you know. But no, you know, I've struggled to understand a few things in the hobby which I always came to you to. Well, it sucks because now you're not going to be really focusing on that area anymore.
I'll still do some things. It's just less obnoxious.
Yeah, but doesn't the obnoxious, I feel like the obnoxious part of you got you to meet Michael Rubin, got you to meet other huge, inspiring people in this sport. Unfortunately, you have to get noisy in order to get things, you know?
Yeah, so you have to be interesting. And when you're interesting, half the people are going to like you and half the people are going to hate you. I mean, you don't see the side of like 300 DMs a day of of which there are death threats, and I'm going to meet you at a show and rearrange your face, and all these things. And if you start being negative all the time, you do have, it's a psychological thing. You have the problem of understanding who you really are. Am I that character, or am I who I really am? And it's hard to choose between the two when you're really wrapped up into it. And so I've tried to get closer to who I really am, but every now and then I'll get obnoxious.
For sure. Yeah, because your latest go-to has been, and it's been brought up in side conversations here at Black Gold a whole bunch, but the eBay saga story.
They pissed off the wrong guy.
Yeah, they did, because it is all over the place. The problems. I actually tried watching one of your videos on how to get rid of reviews. That was not working.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it wasn't working.
Really
I don't know. Yeah, no, I did watch it. I was just like, I'm done with it. I got too much stuff going on. But
it's this card right here. Okay, this is in a slab. This is probably $3,500. Okay, I sold it for $1,000 on eBay because it's raw.
Yeah,
it was inconclusive at PSA. The eBay program does not review autographs on cards like this, aftermarket autographs. They are not allowed to. This is a $10 card without the autograph. Okay, no one has ever counterfeited this card ever. They have faked his autograph many times, but they have never faked this card. And so they failed this. They won't allow me to list it again because they're telling me the card is counterfeit, which is BS. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. So what really happened was I submitted this and it's inconclusive. And then a buddy of mine tipped them off to a lot of forgeries that were happening. And they held a grudge because they know this has come across their desk before. They wanted this removed from circulation completely. And so they failed it under the guise of this program. And so I cooked them. I hope they enjoyed the millions of views it all got.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing behavior. Terrible.
That is. You would imagine that being in the, like, selling a collectible item on, platform or whatever, would update over, make sure things like this does not happen or occur. That's crazy. That is actually crazy that it's still occurring.
So now here's a tip for your audience. All right. You want to get around the authentication program? Take this card.
Yeah, dude, this is the wilder part. Lot it up.
$1 card with it, and you call it a lot.
Call it a lot, and you get around. No lots will go to authentication on eBay. So it's just a loophole. You could sell a Jordan rookie with a Scottie Pippen 18th year card, and it won't go to authentication. How crazy is that?
That's pretty.
That's a scam. That's a scammer's nation, bro.
Yeah, so that's bad. So
that is bad because somebody could actually get around being. It could be good and bad. Don't get me wrong. Like a person like you could get the card finally to the collector that actually wants that, knows what they're buying and wants it. But then again, you have the the other person who knows who is out there scamming somebody because they figured out a loophole, and somebody that had no clue who that person was just tricked them into it. But anyways, let me see. When you walk into a card shop or watch a break, what makes you think these guys get it versus these guys are in trouble?
Card shop. That's interesting. I go to a few. I got a few local ones. It's hard to tell at first glance. If it's like, I'm going to shout out 5 Lanes Sports Cards in Plymouth. I have another house down there, and they're my local guys in the summer. It's like a mom and pop shop, and they really care. It's not the glitziest shop in the world, but they will help you. They'll help consign your cards. They'll help grade your cards, because we live in this world where we're all experts. We're like top 1%. 0.1%, and we know everything about PSA and Beckett and how to submit. Most people walking into a sports card shop are like, I don't know, my dad passed away, like, here's a shoebox, and it's really easy to get taken advantage of. And so what I like to see is the shops that help these people instead of rip off these people. Yep. And believe it or not all of them are as helpful as others. And so, That's one thing. I think the other thing is people driving the hobby forward, like my buddy Chris Costa at Card Vault. It's half owned by Tom Brady, and he's just like, he let us host that charity event there, free of charge. He gave away a meet and greet with Tom Brady to boost up the bids.
That's amazing.
And just an all around great guy for the hobby, and like that's a great thing. Now breaks, if I see a repack, man, I almost immediately have a problem.
Yeah. These, the intentions behind it.
Interesting now with new checklists and stuff like. I don't know. When I see a repack, I feel like I'm at the summer carnival, and I don't really know how many small prizes are available. What's behind that balloon, that type of thing. But breakers that actually take time to hold the hand of people, I've never actually entered a break.
You've never gotten into a break?
A serial number break. I have never entered a break.
Holy smokes. That's crazy. I did not know that.
Oh, wait, maybe I did at the party at the National. Yeah, no, I bought a pack of 2012 Prism. So that's not true. But one break.
You can't say buying a pack is getting into a break. Now, is it risky?
Yeah,
yes.
No.
But
So I think the ones that are like, willing to hold hands a little bit and explain the cost structure, maybe be honest about the markup or the checklists or what you can get, what product's better than the other. I think that those are good practices,
No, for sure. And so going a little bit more into detail what you said versus, so when you say you have never gotten into a break, it comes down to a trust issue. I feel like and you're like, maybe you got to see some price outline to justify buying that, right?
So trust is part of it, but I'm also a pretty mathematical guy, and I don't like going to the casino. When I lose money, that hurts on a ratio that is much more painful than when I make money. I hate losing money, and I don't like to gamble. I don't like to take chances. I'm not like buying scratch tickets and stuff like that. I like to just earn my money. And when I look at a break, the benefit for me is really more, I like to watch product get opened almost on the sidelines. I think that's fun to see the new latest, flawless or something like that. I'm just not going to buy it. But in terms of getting a return, I could bet on a Celtics team and it could be cheaper. But in the long run, it's like the casino. The casino looks like that for a reason. They make money. And breaking companies are in business, so you do have to make money, and the money is going to come from the breakees.
No, you're 100% correct. Breaking companies do have to make money. Just like a sports card shop has to make money.
Yep.
They just do their sales online and do it for you versus sell the box to you and let you do it however you would like to do it.
Right. And some people are okay with the odds and spreading it out like that. And some people aren't. I've just been one of those people that's just not how I collect, really.
For sure.
But I can definitely see why and when it works,
Yeah. So we are actually in our card shop right now. We're in the lobby and the store is right behind us. We have this kind of open layout setup, but for a card shop, just a local card shop in Wisconsin, how do you think our content, what should our focuses be? How should our content evolve? What do you think our hobby shop or local hobby shops could look like within the next 5 to 10 years? And where should our pinpoint and focus points be?
This is a good question. So you see who's doing it. If I was to open a card shop today, I would take Mr. Beast's approach. He's got a warehouse in the cheapest part of town, and it's not flashy. It ain't on Sunset Boulevard. It's well oiled for online consumption and digital consumption, because that is where the butcher, the baker, candlestick maker. You can serve a certain amount of people, but your time and resources are finite. But once, as a business, you leave time and space, even breaking is finite. You need 1 or 2 people to break, right? And if you have one person breaking, now your cost has been halved. But if you can like really promote yourself online, and you can do things beyond breaking, like Jeff Wilson does around education, content around education. I think that's huge because you'll get people watching your video forever on repeat while you're sleeping. You make money. I think there could be something almost, I wonder if breaks can be automated without human beings. That could be wild. I guess we are with Instant Rips and Arena Club, but that's not really breaking. That's just like opening a digital pack. But I wonder if something like that can happen with physical packs. I don't know. It could be very interesting. Like they're I don't know. It'd be pretty, like you could watch a past recording of that pack already being opened or something like that. But I think you have to align both things. You've got the shop, which builds relationships with the community that you're in. You obviously are going to field collections there that you can then make money off of consigning or selling on eBay. And then the breaking business has much less of an overhead. It's a variable cost. It's whatever you pay for the packs and the labor and the shipping and stuff like that. And I would want my business to be 90% breaking and 10% hobby shop, to be honest. It's not whether I'd like it or not, but it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
And so I would gear the whole thing towards online.
I think that's a really great in-depth answer. And one fun sidebar on the Mr. Beast thing is I was actually on Mr. Beast's Amazon Prime TV show called Beast Games. And I've been like in the content
you look
sphere.
Familiar there, buddy.
Really?
I watch it with my son.
There you go. Yeah. So just a random sidebar, but like in terms of like evergreen content, like you're talking about, like putting out education videos that people will go back to or keyword search and they'll find it. I think I was looking at your YouTube today. I think that's what a lot of like your new videos, I think the purpose they'll serve very well. And I think you're going to grow a lot on that channel is because you have the title down, you have the thumbnail down, it gets right to the point and you're speaking good content. So I think there are definitely things we can emulate on that side of things. I think breaking, leaning into breaking and the online business. I think, Brian, that's kind of already where we head, right?
I think that we are exactly, he's like, if I wanted a sports card shop / breaking company, I would want it to be 90-10. Mm-hmm. We are 90-10.
Yeah, that's what
we're 100.
Probably already are.
We are 90-10. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. And we were 100%, 3 years ago, but I was like, we could open up a shop. If I'm going to pay that much in rent in an office, you might as well open a shop and have them renovate and give us $50K in renovation credit and get the shop, because now our marketability is just skyrocketed in this area. And not only are we now going after this area, we're also going after the whole world with all the breaks going on, So,
yeah. And then if you think locally, having a brick and mortar shop, you can field a lot of collections. I'm sure people walk in, they've got stuff or whatever. And you could also advertise. I mean, if you think about who has these valuable vintage cards, I hate to be like, I don't know, morbid, but you could advertise in the local church bulletin. Card shop, do you have like rare sports cards like in your attic?
Yeah, we are buying.
Yeah, buy them.
Yeah,
and
all the time.
Percentage off of that.
Yep. 100 or offer to consign them or anything, because these people just find their cards. They don't want them anymore. They've gone through exactly what you're saying. So that's actually the number one reason why you would want to buy a sports card shop, is because of the buying that occurs. It's not necessarily the people that come in and buy from you. Honestly, I would say that if you're opening up a card shop, don't have that be your sole reason as to why you're buying it. Unless if you live in a huge Los Angeles community driven, like similar to Burbank, where you're going to have customers like crazy coming in 24/7. If you are outside of Chicago in the suburbs, dude, just open it up, because you're able to buy from the community, and now you can capitalize off of that elsewhere. Not necessarily just people coming in and buying cards. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe somebody comes in, but
yeah, I mean, you want to have, I think both is good.
Hey, I never asked you about this. So you exposed CT scanning sports card boxes. Can you give me a rundown?
Yeah. Still happening, by the way.
Yeah, that's crazy. I haven't actually been able, I don't know anybody, nor can I really go and ask another sports card shop or breaker, hey, are you CT scanning? And they're going to be like, dude, who the hell are you, bro?
Did you see the video I did on Instagram that proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt when I opened 5 prison packs?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
So I did I had them scan those, and I was kind of stuck with them. I'm like, well, what do I do with these? And I love that set. And the gods rewarded me because I ripped them, and then I knew that there were 2 Larry Birds in the last 2 packs. And, you know, I called my shot like repeatedly. But the funny thing was CT Scanning's colorblind. So I had a green Larry Bird Prism in the last pack, which is like $1,000 card. It's off to get signed by him right now. So the gods rewarded me for my experiment.
Holy shit, that's a big hit.
Yeah, it's sick, man. I just got to decide on the ink for it, whether it's green paint pen or gold. I don't know.
That is nasty.
Yeah, it was it's only 200 of them, and it's 2000. You know, it's Bird, man. It was
It's
awesome.
Boston. That screams
Yeah, dude.
Boston.
I still have that on my Instagram.
I hate Boston, but man, I can't hate Larry Bird. Sorry, I'm a Bucks fan. My bad.
So, you know, when Mercury came out with Wemby, I know for a fact that like 3 to 5% of all Mercury cases were CAT scanned.
5%?
And basically, like, yeah. That's how many were scanned. And they were at one point, that company was scanning thousands of boxes, high-end stuff, Pokemon. If I hate to sound like a fearmonger, but don't buy any old wax over like 10 grand ever under any circumstances. But they have turned the corner, that company.
Not even if it's what is the certification that you would need on that box?
Oh, the BBCE certification?
Yeah, that means nothing, right?
Because you can open up G.I. Joe cards. This place, though, they will actually, and I do like this usage, Golden actually uses them now. So they will send boxes to get certified. So you can say, this is 2003 Exquisite, LeBron's year, and yes, these packs look good, and here's, you know, like, this is a certified box. So they'll do that. But honestly, don't touch any high-end wax.
Wild. Okay, so you said 5% of all Mercury cases were CT scanned. So first off, did Fanatics get rid of the 5% that scanned them?
I'm just speaking on my relationship because I was the first one to interview those guys, and I know about how many boxes were made, and they told me how many boxes they scanned, and I just did the math.
Okay, but still, did Fanatics further look into this? Because that is like, dude, think about it. I work my tail off here. Like all my breakers, like we're good people. You know what I'm saying? So like to get more product, do you know how many Mercury cases we were offered? I'm sure you don't. Dude, I got solicited 0. Yeah, doesn't this that's weird, right? Because we are doing like 10 million in sales. That's a lot of sales to not be offered any Mercury. So why would a company like us be solicited 0 while you got whomever it is, 5% is probably a lot of boxes or cases.
Well, remember, you're thinking about it as a breaker. You know, a lot of
I'm thinking about it as a sports card shop.
This is what I think happened. I think consumers bought them on eBay or any Dave and Adams secondary, right? They get them scanned, and then what happens next? They put them back on eBay because they know the hit's not there. I don't think it was a Fanatics thing. I think it was more of an end consumer thing where they were just buying it on secondary, scanning it, and throwing it up.
So is that wrong then? Technically, is that wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong.
Yeah, I'm just asking you. It would be way more wrong if it were to be a company that were to be receiving the product from the manufacturer. I mean, I'm not saying it's not wrong. Don't get me wrong.
That would be horrendous, and it, you know, like I said 2 summers ago, it's happening. There are breakers doing that. I had to redact a portion of that video, but
yeah, my bad. I thought that coming into this, I was being one-sided. So my apologies on that. I was thinking that you were, or not you necessarily. It was me. I was thinking that whomever was receiving from the manufacturer was CT scanning, because really,
I don't know
that's
about
a
that. I think
massive
it's
problem.
more the end consumer in this case, because it's so easy. You scan it, and as long as it's in that tight band where the box is about the same price before Wemby gets injured or whatever, it's really easy. You can just, I mean, it's like $100 or $200 to scan a box. So like the value there, you can scan, you can do like 5 tries. You have to think of it that way. Or like something like, I mean, if I was a bad actor, I don't even know if I should say this.
Say it.
Like,
come on, let's have a vote. Danny,
yeah,
does he say it?
If you are a really bad person, like Emperor Palpatine level, this is what you do. You buy all of the cup. People think the cup, it's in metal, it's like invincible. You can see right through the cup. So you go to Crosby's year, you go to Ovechkin's year, or maybe it's the same year. I don't remember, but whatever. You go to their years, right? You just buy them all up. Everyone you can find in the entire world. You go to 97 metal. You buy all of those in the world, scan the crap out of everything, and sell the bad stuff quietly, and then sit on the good stuff. Problem solved. You probably find a PMG or two.
Probably.
And then move to Venezuela. I don't know. I'm not telling anybody to do this.
Guys, do not take this actual.
Don't become Emperor Palpatine of
Yes.
the card world.
Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, we don't need that.
No.
So no, I don't like it. I do like the verification. I think that's cool.
Okay, so
people have had packs certified.
This is getting me off topic, but this has been like a topic of discussion the last couple episodes between we've obviously practiced this podcast before we brought you on. But now since we're talking about all this, and I took totally what you had said totally the wrong way. Now it's got my head twisted. What does Black Gold Sports Cards need to do to be in a consideration to receive Mercury moving forward?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, first of all, you should reach out to the distributor.
I already have.
And,
25 times. More than that, actually.
Maybe some of the people who run, Fanatics Live or wherever you're breaking.
No,
and
I already did.
them.
Yeah. Nope, I've already done.
Well, you may receive silence, but there may be a scoring system. I'm not privy to that.
No, I'm just wondering because you seem like you know more. Like you have talked to Michael Rubin. You have found out about the CT scanning. You have found out about this stuff, and now it's really got me twisted because I actually took it as if breakers were. And I know, dude, breakers are doing it. That's horrible, man. Like, how haven't there been more people going after these breakers that are doing anything with CT scanning? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just like anything else. It's what I've noticed in the last 2 years is they just follow the standard PR protocol, which is most people have amnesia within 4 to 6 weeks. And so, the CAT scanning just it's not interesting anymore, and it's not happening, and it's over, but it's literally happening just as prevalently as it was before. And then, the backyard breaks, it's like they kind of forget about that, but they don't. And
no, they're just where they were, a year ago.
About allocation, like, I don't know. I mean, I know this, right? The sports car market's growing fast, and Fanatics is a fast growing company. And it just may be a speed thing, and a bandwidth thing. You never know.
Yeah, I guess.
You just have to kind of, I guess maybe be more active on social and like get the word out and get some
Hence
videos
why we're
really
doing this
popping
podcast now. We're doing a podcast, even though you're against them.
No, it's just my attention. It's like the same reason I just can't sit through a baseball game anymore.
No, I get exactly what you're saying. I had to make the shot just because I was joking. No, but it's interesting. It's definitely, you bring up a lot of like conspiracy theories, in my opinion, which makes me toss in my head I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Danny?
like him.
I do have a really cool idea for you guys. I don't want to get in too much trouble with this, but like Backyard Breaks they're kind of the frat boys, right? Like they've done that and they've successfully built that brand. There's a flip side of that you could do with, women breakers, and that could help you stand out. You get a personality like Mama Breaks. And that's a pretty successful thing. Actually, there's a gal in Wisconsin who's pretty awesome. I don't know if you know Laura, but she was at the Sports Card Madness party. She's getting into breaking. She's on Instagram, and she could be a good breaker for you guys.
Oh,
We're gonna have to connect on this Laura.
yeah. That's a great.
We are.
So I think like the female aspect of it is important too, because it's a diverse hobby, and I think having one will help you stand out.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
We've actually had a couple leads on some female breakers. However,
No, we were talking about that.
yeah, we do have another couple that are interested. However, their sports knowledge / sports cards
That's
knowledge.
the problem.
Yeah.
It is so rare, and it sounds sexist, which is that's not what I'm saying here.
No, we know
I'm
that.
just saying percentages, right? Like most women aren't as hardcore as most men about sports, but of course there's women that love sports and sports cards, and there are some that really know the cards, and they're women, and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is like when you find them.
Yeah, it's a hidden
could really
hidden gem, and it gives you. I definitely 100% agree with you that it definitely adds potential to a breaking or any online content.
Yeah.
If you're running it, man, that would be something.
I
you
think
would
that
want.
combined with the direction we're going with our content, I think just getting us out there more and building our brand and presence, I think ideally would lead to all the things that we're looking for in the future. Even though we might be in the small town of Pewaukee, Wisconsin, that people might not know of, but we will put Pewaukee on the map and Black Gold on the map.
Bang, right on the map. I just drew a dot on my piece of paper that I have.
But anyways, if this is your final podcast for the foreseeable future, what closing message would you have for hobbyists? What would you tell people to look out for? Like, what would if you had to, I know there's probably a lot of
Dude,
thoughts.
I want to hear the biggest, baddest thing that you got on your mind, because like you said, if it's your last one, please give us that. Like give everybody
Yeah,
what you're
I'm
feeling.
about to go off on Instagram later today about memorabilia companies and how they can going up against them in auctions isn't fair because they can expense the jerseys they're buying, and therefore they're only paying about 60% of that jersey, and a single person. And so I recommend everybody form an LLC and buy their memorabilia that way. That's going to be something I'm going to go off on. But I think I don't know. Like my overall advice is, Instagram is a noisy 100,000 person place, but sports cards is much, much bigger than that. Most 99, actually, here's a stat for you. 99% of sports cards have never been graded and never will be graded. Think of it that way.
Man, that is crazy. With all the grading
stuff
that's
in the
going
world
on.
and the attics and everything.
Yeah, that's a great quote. That's a great little tidbit there.
99%.
Yeah. I mean, we're just such a small drop in what's actually really happening. We just live in this like movie.
Yeah.
The socials.
Well, coming into this, it was like it is its own fast-paced world and you step inside and there's so many different nuances and things that you run into that you would never even think about if you weren't involved in it, if you didn't step foot into the ocean that is the sports card world. So I think that's super cool. With that being said, thank you so much for your time. Shout out to Jason for helping come up with some of these questions and doing some research. If you somehow don't know Nick, you can follow him at Boston Card Hunter on YouTube and Instagram. Is there anything else you'd like to plug?
No, I'm good. I'm on TikTok too, but it's really basically the same stuff as Instagram, so that's fine.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. Yeah, it was awesome to talk to you. I mean, we've seen your content for a long time, and
everybody, you better go follow him. I'm not joking around. Let's go. I had to throw in a little pitch for you. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for coming on to the show today. We appreciate you.
You got it. Don't be strangers.